Welcome to another episode of Inner Peace, Better Health. I'm your host, Eric, and today we have a truly inspiring guest with us, Dr. Kathy M. Campbell. The driving force behind Dr. Kathy Health LLC has been community pharmacist in Oklahoma for over 30 years. Her TEDx talk, Obesity, the Modern Famine, has captivated audiences with its innovative approach to community health. So let's dive in right today, and we'll be exploring the fascinating topic of obesity. Dr. Kathy, you have had an incredible journey. How do you define obesity as a modern famine, and what led you to this perspective?
Well, the root thoughts on obesity as a modern famine is that obesity is the appropriate result of a body lacking specific things. And so we've been told, for generations now that obesity is a function of eating too much. And I actually think the modern cause of obesity is eating too little of what we need or having too little of the other critical components that the human body must have. And I kind of came to this point of view from a long personal journey navigating weight. I have a long history of having excess weight in my family, 3 or 4 generations. Um, I was obese as a child in a time where there weren't very many obese children. And I had a grandfather who was morbidly obese, weighed 350 plus pounds during the Great Depression. So there was no food around, but our family still manifested that particular way to hold weight. And as I studied it through my life, and then I became a pharmacist and I got several science degrees, I came up with this concept that maybe we're starved in what we need. And if we can fix that, the body will actually let go of weight. And I've been really thrilled with my coaching clients and my patients that
Mhm.
has indeed been the case.
Right, right. That's wonderful. So, it's really amazing to see how far you have come, and actually, well, thank you for being vulnerable with us. And balancing a thriving career and personal health can be really challenging, as you must know. But what are the strategies that you use to maintain this balance, especially given your personal journey with obesity?
Man, that's a great question. I think the biggest, that's a tough one. You got me. Now, the biggest driver of my health and wellness is purpose for me. Is that I love what I do as a community pharmacist, and I absolutely love making a difference, a positive difference in the lives of the people I get to serve. So fundamentally, that has my body system and mind work well. Now, when you've got that fundamental purpose, the other pieces like nutrition and sleep um, do play a role. But I think purpose and passion really drives a lot of the health
Right.
manifestation.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's really important because I guess if you are planning for a purpose, to fulfill a purpose and to fulfill a passion, you have to align your health with it. And you know how they say that health is first, health is above everything, you know.
Mhm.
So if your health is not aligned with your purpose and your passion, if you are, just eating a lot of food that you're not supposed to eat, and you are just driven by this passion, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna happen, because
Yeah.
it is proportional. Your health is proportional to your passion. So like the more you are focusing on your health, the more your health will also help you to focus on your passion and fulfilling your purpose. So yeah, that's a great point that you mentioned. And
They're intimately connected. And what's interesting is when you have a driving purpose or a passion, and it could be your children or your grandchildren. I mean, there's so many. Often it is what has you take extra effort with your own health because you can really quickly realize that if you don't do those other pieces, diet, nutrition, movement, that you're not going to be able to live that passion. And so they
yeah.
are it is a driver, but you asked me what my driving piece is, and I love what I do. And when I love what I do, you have less cortisol, you have more dopamine, you have all these love connections that are
Yeah.
critical for a healthy functioning body and mind and life.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So I want to ask you that have you struggled, like even there have been times I'm sure that you must have struggled with this balance. So how did you overcome these challenges?
Oh my goodness, yes. So I have been practicing as a community pharmacist in one town for 33 years this year. And about 20 in 2000, I had the opportunity to start my own pharmacy. So I own my own community independent pharmacy in a small town north of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I started the pharmacy and it is a passion, love it. But 6 months later, I gave birth to my first child, my first daughter. And so
Wow.
where I found myself was having to learn to balance and learning to prioritize. I don't think, and I don't think work-life balance really is what we should be talking about. I think it is priority. And um, and what
Yeah.
I learned was I had to be where I was. So when I was with my patients, I was fully with my patients. When I was with my children, I was fully with my children. And I didn't apologize for either one. So I gave myself the permission to be where I had prioritized I needed to be. And boy, was that a journey. It's probably the biggest personal journey in my life was to learn to navigate those things. But really, God knew the only thing that would have me leave my patients and leave my practice and leave my pharmacy was the beautiful pull of having an infant at home. And
Yeah.
so that balance taught me to not be in the next moment and to not be torturing myself with the last moment, but to try to be as present and as focused in the moment where I was and do the best I can in that moment.
Wow, that's so lovely. That's so lovely. I mean, it is so important, just like yeah, and you're so right. Balancing is just synonymous to what you're prioritizing in life.
Mhm.
Like if you like I have struggled with this question that I'm finding hard to balance things with my college and with my job and with my family and things and assignments. It's all about, I think, in that moment when we feel all of these feelings, when we are overwhelmed with all of these feelings, I guess we have to stop and ask ourselves the question, what are we prioritizing in life? So yeah, that's that.
Well,
Thank you for giving me that perspective. Honestly, it's lovely.
well, and I was exactly at that point. I was also working on a doctorate. I had opened at some point two pharmacies. I had an ill father, and so like you said, what is the priority? But that comes down to really having an honest and generous conversation with yourself. With the hardest question is, what do you want? What do you want in
Yeah.
your life to manifest? And sometimes when you can articulate that, college is part of that. Sometimes when you can articulate that, relationships are part of that. And so, but many of us don't have kind of been pushed down from wanting. Society says, oh, that's selfish, or there's all these conversations about wanting. And I actually think that wanting and dreaming is the destination. It gives us access to the path of how to get there, right?
Yeah.
So that's perfect. It's not just prioritizing, but it's prioritizing what you want.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kathy, for sharing your wisdom and experiences. And I'm sure that our listeners have found this, honestly, for me personally, it's such a great point because every time that I'll ask myself this question, whenever I'm overwhelmed with the feelings of I'm finding it hard to balance everything. I'll ask myself this question, what do I want, or what should I prioritize? Because I think introspecting is so important. And to all our listeners, remember that achieving inner peace and better health is a journey, and every step that you take brings you closer to your goals. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's continue to grow and thrive together. Until next time, stay healthy and keep striving for your best self.